guys, welcome to my humble little office. First of all, before I do anything else, I just want to thank you guys so much. As of today, April 20th, 2025, I have been a content creator for 6 years. I made my first, I don't know what YouTube wants me to call these. I made my very first, I made my Reddit account, that's what I'll say. I made my spicy Reddit account on April 20th and made my first spicy post on April 20th of 2019, and it was also Easter. And my first post was like spicy religious thing. I don't know. If you haven't seen it, you should go see it. It's free. It's just on Reddit. Anyway, so I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you everyone for making that happen. I just never thought I would be a content creator. I never thought that would be something that I would do just because of the way that I look. I know for some of you that might sound like crazy talk, but I really just hated the way that I looked for a really long time. But I don't anymore. It's crazy how life changes you and you grow up and you think new things. Anyways, today I'm gonna be diving into something that I just don't think, I don't think that many people really expect this kind of content, this kind of video from an OF girl, from a spicy creator. But I don't know why. Because we do so much. Like even just managing, like making content, managing content, and I say making content, but that's planning stage. The planning stage of content, I could spend weeks anyways, I just don't know why I don't see too many. I feel like if you're not a productivity creator, then you don't make productivity content. But I think everybody needs this, I think everyone has some sort of system. I have a lot of systems sort of layered on top of each other. If you guys want to know about that, maybe we'll make a video specifically to that, specific about that. But for today, we're just going to focus on the 12-week year. I read it. It was the first book I read this year, back in January. I read it, and I feel like these books are so geared toward people who work in offices or have sort of corporate structures of things. And so I actually listened to the audiobook of it, and I was like, I don't know. Like, this doesn't seem practical. But then about halfway through, when it actually really gets into the nitty gritty of how to run a 12-week year and what exactly this means, I started to really lean into it. And so I just finished my first 12-week year. Today is the last day of my 12-week year. I'm going to go over, if you're not familiar, I'm going to go over sort of the main concepts of the book. I have ADHD, so as soon as I read a book, it pretty much is right from my mind. But I can, but if I have notes, if I took notes, or if I have notes on it, as soon as I finish a book, and maybe even if you don't have ADHD, this might work for you. As soon as I finish a book, I tell ChatGPT to make me a 10-point, like a rundown, like a 10-point, like notes, basically, like the 10 main concepts in whatever book it is. So I did it for this one, and it's simply because I don't always remember. I should say I never remember exactly what went on in the book, like exactly, especially nonfiction. A nonfiction book, I don't remember exactly everything. But then when I read some of the main points, I'm like, oh right, I remember that, and I remember everything about it, and it's like the door is unlocked now, and I can magically remember the other things related to that concept, if that makes sense. So let's just dive in. Number one is annual thinking is the enemy, which I think is just a really funny sentence. But basically they want you, the big sort of thing in the 12-week year is to take your yearly goals and see if you can condense them down to 12 weeks. What if you could accomplish something that you think is going to take a year in a quarter of a year? That's literally all it is. And that sounds daunting, but it's kind of supposed to. I'll get into that later. But most people set yearly goals, and that allows time for procrastination. That's basically what it means. And the book is just there to sort of challenge you and say, hey, if you think it's going to take you all year to, I don't know, lose 20 pounds, or my thing was like, was lose 2 inches. I didn't really go by like pounds, but I just wanted to fit back into my jeans better. That was really like my thing. So I just want to lose 2 inches. And instead of putting it on my 12-month list, because come on, it's 2 inches. I'm pretty sure I can do that. And I chose something that I was pretty sure I could do in 12 weeks. But I have another goal too, and I'll get into all my goals, I promise. I'll get into the real like specifics of my thing. But yes, so basically you break down your goals into, it's not even really like you're taking them in 12-week chunks. It's really about pushing. Push, see what you can get done in 12 weeks. And then for the rest, and then like for the next 12 weeks, you're like, oh wow, I can accomplish a lot. I can accomplish a lot more than I thought I could. So another big thing is measuring your progress every single week. That was actually kind of a game changer. Like picking this big goal, breaking it down into what you're going to do every week, and then actually checking in and saying like, hey, did you do that thing? And you have to tell yourself like yes or no. Accountability is the authors, Brian P. Moran and Michael Lennington, actually have another book about, I haven't read it yet, but it's about specifically that whole holding yourself accountable sort of thing. Another thing about this that, I mean, if you don't like this part, maybe you just don't want to be productive. It hurts, but you have to execute. Planning is so much fun. Writing it down in your notebook is so much fun. Like there's so many parts about doing a task that are actually really fun, but doing them sucks. Like doing things sucks. Like it's okay, but it's okay to admit that doing things sucks. Another thing they mentioned is like comfort. Like you have to address it. I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym, or I don't want to spend my Sunday meal prepping and planning, or whatever it is. Like, I don't want to make TikToks. Oh, I'd rather just lay in bed. I don't want to get up, get dressed, get cute, make TikToks. Like, so you enjoy bed more, which means you enjoy comfort more. And you just have to live with that. Like, oh, that makes me feel bad. You're saying that about me, but it's like, you just have to identify what are you choosing over that thing. I'm kind of jumping around the book a little bit. You should read it. It's a quick read. It's a really quick read. You should just power through it. They also focus a lot on like the idea of having a vision for your goal. I'm really, really bad at vision. I think I just don't always know what I want the end product to look like. I don't know. I just have I have a sort of roadblock with that. I'd love to get better at it, but I'm not really always sure what I want. And even at the end of my 12 weeks, things ended up way different. Good, but way different than I thought they were gonna be. Also, one of the really, really big parts of the book is, I forget what he calls them. They're like, basically what it is you have like indicators, lead indicators, something like that. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I forget what he calls them, but basically you focus on what you can control. Like I wanted to grow my TikTok followers. I can't control my TikTok followers. I can't control how many people want to follow me on TikTok. I will never be able to control that. What I can control is how many times did I post? Were they good posts? Was the lighting good? Like, you know what I mean? Like, did I look cute? You know, like those are the things that I can control. And it really does not matter what, it doesn't matter what other people do. That's kind of how you have to think of it. Like, just focus on what you can control. That's really what the lesson is there. Focus on what you can control and then keep score. It sucks, but keep score at the end of every week. Be accountable. Have a weekly accountability meeting, and recognize that if you did not execute, then you do not deserve. That's I don't like it either. I don't like it either. But if you did not execute on the things, that you needed to do, you don't deserve to reap the rewards. That's literally what it is, and you just have to tell yourself that and do better next week. Another concept that they were like, once the week is over, it is done. Shut up about it. It's done. It's done. Stop talking about it. Don't think about it. Like beyond the idea of just being like, oh, I didn't do this thing, properly last week, and I'll do it better this week. That's it. You're not gonna mope. That's like, you're not gonna mope. So my goals, my 12-week goals, and I'm really excited to talk about this. I feel like such a freaking nerd. But when I first discovered the 12-week year, started reading the book, and I started taking notes on my weeks and stuff, I was like, man, I really wish that there was someone who had like a model 12-week year, or that maybe I don't know, I was kind of hoping for a little bit of like, I was hoping for a video like this, I guess. But someone I want the raw video, like what was your 12-week year actually like? So that's kind of hopefully what this is, and hopefully someone likes it. Anyway, so we're just gonna dive on in. So my little 12-week, get a specific little notebook, okay? Get a specific little notebook. Little goals, okay? My 12-week year, I basically wanted to double my TikTok followers. I think I had like 23, and I wanted to get to 50,000. The point of it is to sort of choose a lofty goal that you might think is a yearly goal and see if you can make it a 12-week goal instead of a 12-month goal. That's kind of what it is. So I was like, man, I think I could reach 50,000 followers by the end of this year. So let me just see if I can condense it down. What could I do, So 50,000 followers and 2 inches off of my waist. Did I get to 50,000 followers? No, but I got some other stuff. Did I lose 2 inches off my waist? No, but I did lose 1 inch, and I got some other stuff. I think that it's the checking in, constantly checking in, and having your goals at the forefront of your mind. Those are really the big things that help. Like I said, I'm really bad at vision, so instead of having a sort of mental vision that I emotionally attach to, because I'm not really good at that, I really just put in here a list of financial goals, a list of like things I wanted to achieve, like things I wanted to be able to do, or things I wanted to be able to pay for. So like what would my life be like in 12 weeks if these things were different? I just sort of made a list instead of having like a visual thing, because it's just not how I work. But I don't know. That I kind of wung it. The goal is to hit 80% of your goals every week. The goal is only 80%. And that's not me telling you to procrastinate or telling you that, like, it's just supposed to be a lofty goal that you can't get 100%. If you get 100%, you need to like choose a new goal or something, because it's not pushing you. You know what I mean? The whole point is to like be pushing you past your limit a little bit. So I took all of these notes every week, and then at the end, there is actually a magical 13th week. And today is technically the end of my 13th week. The 13th week, you can use it to plan your next 12 weeks. You can use it to reflect. They give you a few options of like things you can do with it. On my weekly check-ins, I went through them, reflected. I remembered, I read stuff that I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even remember that. There was a week where I got bit by a bug that I'm allergic to, and the whole week was shot. Oh, the whole week was shot. I didn't even remember that. Like, wow, I survived. Like, that was crazy. Anyway, so this is things I noticed about myself and my life over my 12-week year, positive and negative, okay? This is everything. I didn't reach 50,000 followers on TikTok, but I got into the Creator Fund. And I had a huge, which means I had 100,000 followers or 100,000 views within a month. So within just 4 of those weeks, I had over 100,000 views. And I had just a huge engagement increase overall. 34.43% more views in these 12 weeks than the 12 weeks previous. And 191.11% increase in followers. And that's net followers in these 12 weeks over the previous 12 weeks. Okay? It's not nothing. Did I achieve my goal? Like, no. No. I don't even know what percentage of the goal I reached. But the point is that I pushed. There were weeks, at least 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, where I posted over 20 TikToks. I've never done that before. I didn't lose 2 inches. I didn't lose 2 inches on my waist, but I lost 1 inch. And more importantly, I started recognizing patterns that were like I would lose, gain, lose, gain, lose, gain. I started recognizing that that's like a hormonal shift. And I did some research, and I learned that pumpkin seeds can actually help with that. And I started having a couple handfuls of pumpkin seeds every day, and that helped. Are you kidding me? It didn't just help, like it removed that from my life. Like the rage outbursts of hormones, the self-esteem issues of like being hormonal, the weepiness, the crying, the anger, the cramps, like just everything is pretty much gone because of pumpkin seeds. Because I started eating pumpkin seeds, because I read this book and it told me to start keeping track of everything and checking in every single week. This book is like, they definitely tell you, like they really harp on like no excuses. If you have an excuse, I wanted to stay in bed. Okay, so I like comfort more than waking up at 5 a.m. Well, how can I make myself like waking up at 5 a.m.? How can I make myself, can I make a nice breakfast? Can I try to remember that I wanted to go to the gym? Can I try to remember, you know what I mean? Like, but I didn't make excuses, but I did write down why things didn't happen, like that bug bite, which is so crazy. So I got bit by a bug. I wrote that down, the week was shot, and I was really sick. And that's fine, I'm not like upset about it. But I was also writing down like, oh, like my period was this week, or I ovulated this week, so I don't really care what my inches are. I'll measure myself, sure, but like, I'm not gonna beat myself up for it, because I knew it was hormonal. I started to just sort of see that like, man, this inch is leaving and then coming back over and over again. Anyways, so I did research on hormone stuff and found out that ovulating women, and that's not even the period part, it's ovulation, which is, if you don't know, 2 weeks prior to your actual menstruation cycle, you will eat 90 to 500 calories extra per day. And that's normal. That's normal. That's okay. It's just like your body, I don't know. I learned a lot about my body, I guess. But I did lose 1 inch, and it's staying off, which is really cool. Another thing I noticed, my self-esteem related to self-care tasks like exercise is really, really low. But I didn't realize that before. I thought my self-esteem was fine, but then I was like, oh, I should go work out. And then my brain was like, no. And I was like, why not? And it was like, well, why would you do that? And I was like, well, because I want to take care of my body. And it's like, why? And I was like, oh, you're mean. Like, you literally hate yourself. I didn't know I hated myself. This video is already getting stolen. I promise I'll do better. I need to make sure that my current goals are placed somewhere that I can see every single day. At the beginning of my 12-week year, I made a list of goals, and I put them at the front of this notebook, thinking that I would ever open up the front of this notebook ever again. Because I didn't until the 12-week year ended, and I decided to take notes on everything that happened to me, everything that I did. Wow, that was dumb. I should have, but I looked back on them and I was like, oh wow, like I had these goals and I didn't even remember. Just poof, out of my brain. Choose a strict workout time. I said that I would at the beginning, and I never did, because that was that was one of my goals. I was like, oh, it's one of my, like a to-do list that's just at the front of this little book that I never ever looked at again. Plan for each minute. Don't just plan the task like, oh, make a YouTube video. Like, get dressed, get cute, put on jewelry, okay, like, get your iPad for your notes, like, get the, you know, like, all of the little things, the minutia, all the little things, because I can't just, if you just put yourself in front of the camera, the video's not gonna happen. I'm like, oh, I don't look good, or blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I wanna plan for each minute, plan for each task, plan out the script, plan out all the little things within the task, not just the task itself. Pumpkin seeds are life-changing, that's what I learned. Lots of hormonal challenges and roadblocks might go away if I keep eating those every day. I started watching like productivity YouTubers and just having them on in the morning. Even if I'm not exactly like listening to what they're saying, it just puts a good vibe in my whole house. It just puts a good vibe in my whole house of like, because I don't know anyone who's ambitious. I just don't know anyone. Like, I don't have people in my life who are ambitious. It's kind of sad, but I just don't have them. So just knowing what an ambitious person looks like, sounds like, acts like it actually really changed my vibration a little bit. I need to do that more often, because typically I wake up in the morning, I put on reruns of like American Dad or Living Single or Designing Women, and I make breakfast. Like, that's probably counterproductive. I need more discipline and less distraction. I think that's true for everybody. I think probably everybody needs that. I need to start thinking big picture, not like, oh, I want to post a bunch of TikToks now or send out this thing now so that I can pay rent, which that's great, pay rent. But also I want to make sure that I'm thinking like, what can I contribute next year? Does that make sense? Like, I kind of feel like sometimes I'm just thinking day to day, and it's making me anxious, because after the day ends, it's like the thing I've been stressing about all day is over. I don't know, it just leaves me anxious. So yeah, thinking big picture, thinking like, how can I contribute to the world, rather than like, how can I just like pay my bills? I need a tighter morning routine, which I was just saying, my morning routine needs to be a little bit tighter and a little bit neater, okay? I can't just wake up, make coffee, watch American Dad, and like answer emails and just like, it's just, yeah, no. Like this morning I didn't, I had already like taken the dogs out and had breakfast and like was like responding to messages, like doing all the stuff, and then I was like, I never did my face routine, and I never brushed my teeth this morning. Like, I usually just wake up, brush my teeth. I don't know why I didn't. Oh, my dog had a seizure this morning. Yeah, if something gets thrown off, I don't have something to go back to. I need to like make the morning routine tight, neat, and keep referring back to it. And probably like work routines too, like keep referring. That's really my biggest problem. I need to keep referring back to the goal, to the list. Learn to appreciate silence. Very difficult for me. ADHD makes me hate silence. I don't like being understimulated. It actually makes it really hard to make content, because you have to make content in the silence. I'm the noise. I have to be the noise. That's so scary. I have to be the noise. I don't want that. But at the same time, it's literally my job. So yeah, but I need to be in the silence more, be more appreciative of it, and hopefully that will help make me more okay with doing this, more okay with filming a 20-minute video, and do it more often. Be unique and love yourself. That's something that I learned and wrote down for myself. Be unique and love yourself. I feel like the content that I've been making that is weird, that is just random thoughts from my head, like, those are the videos that are getting the most views, that are getting the most like response, that are getting the, I don't know. I didn't really realize that, but I'm getting a lot of, usually I have a lot of like men watch my videos, which is fine. But I've been having like more of a broad audience different countries, genders popping up in my content, which is, it's really cool. I just didn't expect it necessarily. But yeah, it's very cool, and it's made me think that maybe I could be more of an internet personality, which would be cool, rather than, I don't want to say just an OF girl, because I'm not just an OF girl, but you know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel like I want to be a more of a personality type that just makes a bunch of different content. I want people to be like, oh yeah, I know that girl. She's a Twitch streamer. And then you're talking to someone and it's like, she's a Twitch streamer. I found her on YouTube. And someone else is like, she's on YouTube and Twitch. I saw her on TikTok. And I'm just making a bunch of different content all over the place. I just want to be like the Renaissance woman. I don't know. But I think that trying to post as much as possible to try and reach this really lofty goal of doubling my followers on TikTok actually kind of pushed me to be like, okay, what is content? Everything is content. Every thought that I ever have, like, that can be content. Like every single sound, every single audio that you scroll past on TikTok can be content. You just make a list of all the things about yourself, everything you've ever been through, every relationship you've ever had, your everything your parents have ever done to you, every thought that you have that is mildly entertaining, and just every time you hear an audio on TikTok, you look at your list, say, how can this relate? How can I relate to any of this? Like, can I relate this audio on TikTok, this sound on TikTok to anything on this list? Like, and I've just been going for it, like that, you know. Spend time with ambitious people. Like I said, I need more YouTubers in my life, I guess. Meet your own standards consistently and with joy. I think every part of that is hard. I have to make my standard, because other people are like, wow, other people will be like, wow, you made a YouTube video today? You should just like take a break. And then I look at other like ambitious creators. They're like, okay guys, it's like filming day. I'm making 3 to 5 YouTube videos today. You know what I mean? And I need to like spend time focusing on that rather than people in my life who want me to take the easy way. I don't want to say the easy way because it's not even a path really. They want me to have an easy life, I guess. And that's nice, but it's not what I want. I want things to be hard, I guess. Like I want challenge. And I don't know anyone who enjoys challenge, I guess. At least not those kind of challenges. Attack, I underlined it, attack procrastination, attack self-sabotage, attack chaos, which I actually did a lot of today. I've been spring cleaning all day. This is my spring cleaning outfit, by the way. I can't step back because I step on my dog, but this is my spring cleaning outfit. I hope you like it. But yeah, I have been attacking chaos all day, for real. This next point, literally, just think of yourself as an online personality rather than an OF girl, because I feel like I was boxing myself in a lot. I was like, what do I post? I was freaking out every day about what to post without realizing that I am the business. Me. Everything I think, everything I like, everything I've ever been through, everything I've ever said, every embarrassing moment I've ever had, every funny thing that I've ever said, every outfit that I own, everything is content. And the less time I spend thinking about what to post, the more I'm able to just post, and the more eyes I get on me, and you know, the better things go. Know when the day is done and act like it. I just started reading Getting Things Done. I'm not done yet, but one of the things he says in the beginning is that because of the way that the world has progressed, like technology-wise, we don't know when our days are done. You can get an email from your boss at 8 p.m. You can get an email from your boss at 8 p.m. That has never happened in the history of the world. Like in the history of the world, your boss could not get a hold of you. Like when we were freaking farmers, like whoever your boss was when you were a farmer or a factory worker, which is like the two, you know what I mean? The two jobs. But if you were a farmer or a factory worker, your boss would not bother you. after you left, because because there was no cell phones, there is no email, okay? There is nothing he can get a hold of you by. And also, if you're a freaking farmer, after the sun goes down, your day is done. And now you know it's family time. Now you know it's dinner time. Now you know it's time to rest. And we don't have that. And that blew my mind because I was like, oh my gosh. And he talked about, he said that work has no edges. I know I'm kind of talking about another book for a second, but yeah, work has no edges. There's no defined points of what work is and what work is not. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's why I'm so fucking anxious all the time. That is why I'm so anxious all the time. I'm freaking out about it. I'm freaking out about work all the time because I have no idea when it ends. But yeah, know when the day is done, quote unquote, and act like it is done. And this is also what I just talked about. Express who you are, your thoughts, and everything about you. Die empty. That is my new motto. Those are my house words. Die empty. All of your ideas, all your thoughts, all your feelings, everything. You just push it out of your mouth hole. You just push it out. I want to die empty. I don't want to die with anything left over in me. I have like three little scraps of ideas for like novels in my mind. I want to write them before I die. I want to at least outline them. you know what I mean? I just want to push out all the ideas, everything that I have all the time. So if I ever think to myself, I shouldn't make a TikTok about Neopets, no one gives a shit about it. No, just make it. Just die empty. You just push it out. Just die empty. And now every time I've made some people aware of this, now every time someone's like, oh, I don't think I'm like, die empty. Oh, I shouldn't go for this promotion, die empty. I shouldn't tell him how I feel because die empty. Die empty. And last but not least, focused. It's not the right word. Focus on what being a creator does for you. And I know that sounds selfish, but hear me out. When I create for other people, I'm putting thoughts, feelings, emotions on them. I'm saying, oh, nobody's gonna like this, or oh, everybody's gonna like this. Either way, it's me making assumptions about you guys, which is actually really mean. Like bullies do that. Like it's not nice. It's not nice to make assumptions about people. So in that spirit, I'm just gonna focus on what being a content creator does for me in as little of a selfish way as that sounds. So for example, someone messaged me recently and said that my content helped them through an incredibly hard time. And I was like reborn. I was like, oh yeah, like I don't really get those messages often. But when I do, I'm like, oh yeah, that was the whole point. Like it sends me back to when I first started 6 years ago today. 6 years ago today, I was disabled, sitting at home, like I'll make a whole separate video on my whole journey from then to now, but I was so lonely. I was so lonely, and I was reaching out into the void of Reddit, trying to feel around, okay? Trying to feel around and figure out if I could make someone feel better, if I could reach out to my loneliness and it would touch someone else's loneliness. And then we wouldn't be lonely anymore. I don't know if that makes sense. But that's what I wanted, because the Reddit community that I posted in, they made me feel less lonely when I would consume their content. So I wanted to participate. So that's what I did. And it did something for me. It was selfish. But now it's helping other people. And I just think that's, I don't know, I think that's beautiful. It's actually more beautiful than saying, oh, no one's gonna like this, or ooh, I'm gonna make this because everyone's gonna love it. Like, it's actually more beautiful to say that I did it for me, and that like they did it for me, and now I'm gonna do it too, so that maybe I can help someone else. I don't know if that makes sense. But anyway, so yes, that is my 12-week year. That's everything I learned from my 12-week year. I just word vomited it all out in, it's not well structured. I apologize for that. Hopefully you guys get the idea of what exactly the 12-week year is supposed to be. And if you, I mean, I went in depth. If you do it, even in the sort of lackadaisical sort of way that I did not do it perfect. But I think that if you give yourself the opportunity to do it, it seems so small. It's so crazy. It seems like such a small thing to do. Like, oh, just check in with make a huge goal, check in with yourself every week and see what happens for 3 months. Like, it seems so basic, but once you read the book and you have all the information, you kind of realize that it's actually kind of profound. But it's kind of funny because sometimes someone says something like, well, you can plan all you want, but the only people who are successful the only people who are successful are the executors, not the planners. And it's like, oh wow, like, that's simple, and I knew that, but it's also profound. And now that I'm putting it into action, I don't even know how. Like, it's actually really difficult to execute and to show up for yourself. Why is that so hard? Anyways, I'm gonna end this incredibly long video just by saying that I'm really appreciative to all of you for consuming the content that I've been making for 6 years. That is actually really insane. Thank you so much. Whether you've been here the whole time or a little bit of time, I love you and thank you. And be safe, because I want to see you next time. Bye.